Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to beat Foxy, Ladies Night, and Double Trouble. These are, in my opinion, the three easiest presets to get you to deal with Chica, Mangle, Foxy, and Bonnie and Toy Bonnie very well. Toy Chica is just very similar to Mangle, but without the radio sounds, and seems to be very similar to BB. So we're just going to be jumping straight into this, starting with Foxy. I would say Foxy is the hardest to get consistent at because Foxy's attack timer is insanely hard to learn. I have not learned this myself, but I can do my best attempt. So I would say the best thing to do is not waste any flashlight battery. You want to make sure that everything you do is perfect with this. You want to make sure you're always flashing Foxy. If the hallway is empty, you can use it as just a chance to either wind the music box, or just keep the music box wound for a while. Every time the hallway enters static, it could either be Mangle entering the hallway or Foxy leaving. It's just one of the two. You also want to be very careful to not cross Foxy's attack timer on a 10-second interval. That way the Foxy attacks the player straight on. Very careful because you're blowing up the camera so fast. You don't know how much time to think about Mangle, and you want to be very careful to not accidentally pull the camera out when Mangle is in the office. To go out is about one flashlight bar every 1.5 hours. Right now it seems as though I'm probably close to losing my first flashlight bar, but I'm not very... But I'm close to 2 AM. So it seems like I'm actually doing okay. Flashlight battery. It's the most important thing to factor in on this night. Strategy of flashing Foxy 20 times to get him to leave for a bit is completely not worth it at all unless you're able to flash a flashlight very infrequently, but because we're spamming it essentially, that wouldn't be able to be done. You still want to be very careful of a 10-second interval of Foxy. If possible, you could additionally have a timer, like 10-20 minutes, to decide whenever a 10-second interval happens. When you know Mangle's starting to approach, what you could do is close the camera on the mask side so that you're ready to flash Fox right before putting on the mask. And just set it before the mask. You don't want to do the mask strat as it wastes too much time on trying to flash Fox. You just want to do a slow jump to get to the very careful post Mangle attack. put on the mask, leave Foxy unattended to. If you didn't flash Foxy before putting on the mask for manual. But we almost impossible. So it's 5 AM with maybe 1 bar of flashlight left. Making sure Fox is in the hallway absolutely confirms he's not going to kill you. If the hallway's empty and you know the Fox has been gone for a while, it probably means that Foxy's just left. If the hallway's empty and Foxy immediately jump scares you, I think that explains itself. Done. There we go, 6 AM. So that was a very stressful night. Keeping Foxy fast often is so difficult on this night. It feels like every single time you mispress something, it just adds up too much time and Foxy. The constant stress knowing Foxy's attack timer is 10 seconds on 20 AI and potentially even can kill you even later, but even less than that on 10-second intervals. So now we're going to Double Trouble, which is a much easier, in my opinion, probably easier night than Double Trouble. Than Foxy. It's way less stressful. And the only thing to look out for is having your camera cut off by Wizard Bonnie, which is the only thing. So the thing you want to listen for is vent noises. And because the only vent animatronic is Toy Bonnie, Toy Bonnie is very probably the first person to give ambience, and maybe Toy Bonnie's first. One thing to take into account is that because the only vent animatronic that is on this night is Toy Bonnie, obviously. But the thing with Toy Bonnie is that it's the only one that is not fooled by the 0.75 seconds trick. So after a blackout by Wizard Bonnie, just immediately take off the mask. Like I said, you want to be careful for cut-offs by Wizard Bonnie. They could happen the moment it does. One interesting strategy you could do with Toy Bonnie is do the blackout, but like go to the blackout and just instead just flip up the camera and immediately close it, and there's a chance that Wizard Bonnie could be there. But if he's not, just put on the lens. And hopefully Toy Bonnie. It seems though in my pattern, it seems that Toy Bonnie showing up first. Very unlucky to Toy Bonnie's attack, and on the presets, this is the point where you start to get really unlucky. So, like I said, you really want to be careful with the Wizard Bonnie blackout after a Toy Bonnie attack. That's probably when it's most likely to happen if you make Toy Bonnie's body come first. Especially because in general, Toy Bonnie's path is shorter. The shortest path for an animatronic to kill you is obviously Foxy, but one just taking the traditional path would be with a Chica. I almost missed my mouse button there, but that was very close. There's a very tiny chance that Toy Bonnie will show up a little bit before Wizard Bonnie's blackout, and you could wait a really long time in masking it. It's very rare. here we could just start farming short lines in the music box, which would be perfect for trying to not get it cut off with the Bonnie. It also sets us up really bad for Toy Bonnie, because it could potentially be with a Toy Bonnie. If he's on the light, it's obviously the outcast of this is obviously with Foxy. He just sits there. The fastest time we're trying to reach you on a normal movement basis is with a Chica. When a Chica starts at Foxy service, he goes to party room 4, then party room 2, then the vent, and then which is 4 movements. Toy Bonnie goes from party room 3 to party room 4 to party room 2, and then the vent, and then the which is 5 movements. With a Bonnie, we'll go into the main hall, into the flashlight hall, and then go into party room 1, and then goes into the vent, and then it does. As you can see, you want to be very careful on Toy Bonnie there. Had I been any later, I would have died. You may think I'm over-exaggerating by saying that Foxy is still a dangerous friend on 5 AI, and I'm not. Never underestimate Foxy's AI. And don't overestimate it either. On 1020 mode, it just feels like he's a lot easier, and that's because he is. They've just completely dissected how he works, and they've made a complete counter for him on 1020 mode. But as for other presets, we can't control anything that the animatronics do, because obviously we can control that there's pretty much a blackout after every camera flip, just because of how fast the animatronics are. Apparently there's an 89% chance there's a blackout after every camera flip. That 11% chance goes towards the first 25 seconds, which is, if an animatronic doesn't show up, then it'll just be a toy. It's most likely that you have a toy Freddy over there. I don't know why I'm going to go great into deep into 1020 mode. I'm obviously going to do that in my 1020 guide. After 1020, we'll probably move on to FNaF 3, and then that'll probably be it, because I'm not really that experienced in FNaF 4. So if you wanted FNaF 4, then I'm probably going to need to get consistent at the nights. I can't really do FNaF all that well. And also, once you beat night 8, you can't go back. As you can see, Toy Bonnie can just enter whatever the hell he wants. He entered literally just out of nowhere. The night was empty, it showed up, so it's just oh, come on, man, it's not fair. So if Withered Bonnie happens to catch you in a blackout, on the very off chance that happens, you can try holding out until 6 AM. I'm gonna try doing that, and I'm gonna hope I don't die to the music box or Foxy. And now I'm just gonna AFK and hope I win. And somehow, by miraculousness, I have won somehow after losing to Withered Bonnie totally. I guarantee you, if you're good enough with the mask, unlike me, yeah, you'll definitely be able to do that. Trust me, I don't think you'll ever have to run into that. And even if you do, there's a very unlikely chance that you'll be able to hold out. And I just wouldn't count on it, in my opinion. I genuinely thought the run was over, but it's always worth trying. So now we're moving on to the final preset of this guide, which is Ladies' Night. And then I'll probably have a video coming out a little bit later, which will be how to do Freddy, Circus, and Night of Misfits. I'm not going to go too much detail into that. You'll have to watch that guide for that video. So this is definitely the hardest one. It's a very fatal pattern to fall into. It's a very crucial pattern to fall into. absolutely make sure you're super speedy if you know where the Chica's coming. Yeah, the Chica really does like to cut. You know exactly when Mangle's there, and you might have to do the 0.75 strat. But one thing you cannot tell is when poor Chica's there. Similar to Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica just likes to enter whatever the hell she wants. There's Mangle and then a Chica. And then the outback of pretty much every preset is with Foxy. You don't have to pay attention, you just blatantly press the control key. Where the Chica is. There she is, the girl, and I got cut off. Yeah. So I'm very confident to watch it over there. Even if you do pull up the camera the second the blackout ends, it's still pretty likely to watch it. Because vent animatronics have a tendency to just leave faster than they're supposed to. Once they if you put on an accident, I don't know what it is, maybe it's something to do with how immediately commenced. That does not sound nice, so I guess, and you're already putting on an accident blackout. I was confident that wasn't Toy Chica, but like I said, it can just leave immediately sometimes. You saw that happen on Mangle. I'm fairly sure that it was Mangle. Entering. Oh, that was close. I missed the mouse. Whoa! The cutoff made me. Okay, if you didn't know what happened there, basically it takes two down putters, like you can see here, two down putters to put down the camera, put on the mask, and then immediately put it down. That's something that you have to do. But what happened is that as I was traveling to do my first one, with a Chica pulled down the cameras as I was doing it. Meaning it just looked like I did it at superhuman speeds. And luckily because you can't take off your mask during the blackout. And I obviously didn't die. Because I didn't take my mask off during the blackout. That's why that mask went through that. So we're almost, I think we're halfway through now. What's something annoying is if Torchica and Mango happen to show up at the same time like they did before, one thing that can happen is that if Torchica shows up during the mask thing, if Mango leaves quickly, you gotta take into account that Torchica couldn't have left. Oh, for a second, I was saying Torchica. Okay, there we go, we're gonna try to leave the mask on. Just good enough for Torchica. Still have not seen Torchica in a while. There she is. That's another. That's it. See Torchica in the hallway. Poor Chica's leaving. Poor Chica is way less lenient every time. Had I been a little bit later, I would totally lost. Hit the danger zone. I know one thing that can happen is if you're doing a super big wind up music box, Toy Bonnie or Toy Chica can enter the office while you're doing it. It just means they take, it just means that they enter and immediately enter attack stage while you're trying to run Misfits. Okay, I think Toy Chica might actually. I think she's probably going to be at the next one unless I got rid of her wild. Go. We're almost done. It's 5 a.m. If you didn't know, I have been struggling to get this guide out for a while. Every single time I would get past Ladies' Night, I would always just have unreliable warranty like Toy Bonnie, have unreliable intervals with Foxy, accidentally pull up the camera for Amanda's there, and just end up having an angle kill me. But anyways, that's Happy Double Trouble, Ladies' Night, and Foxy. Hope you enjoyed this guide. Make sure to like and subscribe, and good